Good evening, fellow melanated people. this, sorry, this is gonna be my first video. Um, it's been a long time coming. So many things have been on my mind, but I've just been motivated to talk now on Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar Johnson, brilliant guy, brilliant man, and I want to say to start that I think that this is an idea that I've had. Me and my boys have kicked around a lot, starting up a school in Haiti, even to help people that have less opportunity than we have here, even. But schools to teach the black children, our children, our lineage, the truth, and not what they've been getting. My cousin, his daughter, my little niece, they try to teach her that Cleopatra was Greek. So, sorry. So, this idea of having a school is a great idea. This idea of having, to help liberate us by giving us back our history. So, this is what Dr. Umar is doing, and it is extremely noble. He's a brilliant man. He has a lot. He's a wealth of information, which makes him a good person to be starting to undertake this. Because frankly, there's a lot of talkers. There's a lot of people who talk and have ideas, but don't nobody get up, and do anything. So that's why the man deserves some respect, and I will definitely give him that. That being said, like the literally people, the people that use literally all the time when it's not supposed to be used. Literally is supposed to entail when something is actually that. Not at all exaggeration or euphemism. It is literally that. So when you say something like, man, that movie was literally crazy, that's not correct. Facts. See, this is another one of the things that Dr. Umar likes to do, is describe one of his way out there theories that are reaching, but sharp, and go facts. And I'm sorry, brother, a brilliant man as you are, a lot of the stretching ideals that you have are reaching, and just flat out not always correct. None of us are perfect. The information that you do have is invaluable. I myself don't have the background that you do. My experiences in quantum mechanics, quantum physics, that's my area of expertise and interest. I'm also interested in martial arts practice for a long time. So my knowledge on black spirituality, black history is nowhere near as profound as Dr. Umar. I just want to say that to start. So if I were to start to put a school together, I would need to hire brothers like Dr. Umar who have that information. So, once again, to give him all respect for being a person with a goal, get up and do something, and not just an idea, but he's doing something positive, regardless of any criticisms you could offer up. I find it a total waste of time to criticize him for what women he's sleeping with. Men are sleeping with somebody, and I don't care. And I'm not going to judge a man for who he's sleeping with. It's ridiculous. So, I don't care about any of that nonsense. And most of what this man has brought to the table has been positive. The problem is that absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is something I'm sure Dr. Umar is quite familiar with. It's got to be familiar with it, right? So, Dr. Umar knows this, you know, and just because he has the motivation that right now feels to him to be nothing but positive and the things we need to do as a people and all of that, it feels like that, it really does. But then the devil keeps coming and knocking, and you just do not have the tether to continuously weather the storm. Because what white supremacy does so effectively is divide and conquer. They know how to wait you out. They just go, okay, a resistance is going to come. Maybe we wait, maybe we fight that resistance for 1 year. Maybe we fight it for 2 years. But what we never do is relent our control. And eventually we will be able to divide and conquer before we even have to worry about it. And this is what happens invariably. Mexico tried to use the auto defenses to disarm their corrupt armies, and they were effective for 2 years. But the government successfully infiltrated them and divided and conquered. Same thing happens every time. A resistance arises, and they will wait you out and divide and conquer. You have to go into these things intelligently. So I think that my combination of strength and brains, I won't go into bragging about my IQ and ego nonsense, but I also bring information to the table in a unique perspective. Because not only do I know a little bit about a lot, but I'm an empathetic person above all. I care. I really care. I work on not operating from ego, but I fail at times. None of us are perfect. I would hope to not sell out as my success rises, but that's the hope of all of us. And I see too many of the people who are offered the opportunity took it. And it's hilarious because, it seems like all of these artists lament making that decision and wish they could have gone back. I hear it so much. Like, I did this, I made this deal, I wish I never would have done it. Hear it from Eminem all the time. I wish I never would have rapped. I sold my soul to the devil, I'll never get it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens. It's been happening for thousands of years. These people have been at this for thousands of years. They know what they're doing. It's like fighting an advanced civilization. So we can't get down on ourselves when we go, okay, we haven't been able to win this war, because we're fighting an advanced civilization. They have hoarded all the technology and information over thousands of years, and they have the upper hand for those obvious reasons. But we have the numbers so exaggerated in our favor that it's ridiculous that we just don't remove our complicity. But we need to have the backbone. We need to have brothers like Dr. Umar that have the intestinal fortitude to get the information to our kids so they don't just think their only options are to be a ball player or a gangster, and they know that they come from kings and queens and brilliant inventors and the greatest natural aboriginal people this planet has to offer. Not to be ego driven or to offer up any supremacy in any direction. But black people are amazing. Not just because I happen to be one, but because everything we have to contribute to art, athletics, I think is valuable in the same ways that other people have valuable assets to bring to the table, and just the focus on the real attributes never happens for us. What happens is this looking at afar like we're animals to appreciate the physical prowess and to ignore the spirituality and uh, the connected to consciousness and innately ingenious this race of people is. See, I've come to know who I am, and I know that my people, aboriginal to the United States, are the most powerful people this planet has ever offered. I know that as a Moorish American, yes, I'm not black, I am a Moorish American, because if you consider yourself black by law, you are considered dead by law. Why? I'm sure you can figure that out. Look it up if you don't believe me. I don't ask for anybody to believe anything I say. I'd like you to go look it up for yourself, and then you'll come around to realizing that what I have to say might have some base, some truth. I am a truth seeker. So if you have something to correct me on, I'd like to hear it. I don't want to be right. I want to go with the prevailing knowledge right now. So if you got something better for me, I'd like to hear it. I don't need to be the only voice. That being said, I understand the value of my opinion. That being an empathetic person and somebody who has the unique perspective that I do, I have a lot to offer. So I felt like it was my duty to start to do something in the same way that Brother Umar is doing. And at the same time call attention to the fact that there needs to be a collective of us that are working towards these goals and a valuing of who we are collectively now, while we are being murdered in the streets at the highest level and they are trying to wipe us off the planet. We need to stand up now and value ourselves for what we are, what we bring to the table, our value. What would happen if America loved black people like they love black culture? That's not my quote, but it was Kevin Gates who said that. I don't remember, but it's real. I don't know where I was going with this. I just wanted to call attention to Brother Umar's cause, number one, but also say to Brother Umar, you're going to have to tell us where the money's going and put up some type of plan, or you're going to have to accept conceit that, hey, maybe the plan hadn't been put together enough before you started the undertaking, and you're reevaluating, and we can accept that. But what we can't accept is giving you more and more and more and more and more money, and no schools ever get opened, and no progress is made, and then we start to feel like you robbed us. Because that's not what we need right now. Wasted energy, no matter how good your intentions might be. Just like the liberal racists, they talk themselves into things sometimes. You have to understand that your motives are your motives sometimes. So, that being said, I think there needs to be a collective, not just one man that's working on this project. I think a collective of black intellectuals and Moorish American people who have something to offer to the conversation start to be involved. So I personally would reach out to Brother Umar and say, I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to build and work towards the future that we are destined to have. It's insane that we've allowed this to go on for as long as we have. They know it. That's why they've been so scared. That's the need for dominance. I don't need to dominate anybody. I'm comfortable in me. I know my greatness. I know who I am. I don't need to be better than you. I just need to be the best me I can be. I don't need to be better than somebody. So this whole misguided need to show that you're better is an insecurity. It's an obvious insecurity. Like Brother Umar has said, 95% of the people, the men who were lynched, black men who were lynched, were castrated as well. And I'll let you figure out what that reason is. But I'm just adding myself to the conversation and putting the other intellectuals on notice, because they'll know by the content of my sermon here that my intellectual capacity is what it is, and it speaks for itself. And I'd like to just help where I can. That's all I'm trying to do. I ain't trying to make no money or fame. I'm trying to help where I can. It's time to do something. I'll go out in the streets if people are ready for the revolution, but apparently it needs to happen a different way. So, let's go.